Hey, Pretty Girl Club. So today I'm going to talk about when people are mad because they can't be you. Have you ever been around friends or family members and you don't realize that they are in a secret competition with you? You don't realize that they secretly wish they can take your spot? So, first of all, I want to say thank you guys so much for 14,000 subscribers. This channel is growing very quickly. So, thank you guys so much for subscribing. For those of you who don't know, this channel is created for Black women who are multiracial as well as Black women who look mixed. If you look at the banner of my YouTube channel, you will see that is who this channel is geared towards. If you are looking for Black women empowerment content creators, I am not a Black women's empowerment creator. So please click off these videos now because any pro-Black social justice warrior comments or comments against MLS women will be removed. But I recently made a video about the friendship dynamics between Beyonce and Kelly Rowland. I use them as an example to represent how the dynamics often are between MLS women and women who may feel like they are second best to us. I noticed that I had a lot of disingenuous people coming into my comment section pretending to be Kelly Rowland stans, but where was that energy with Kelly's music? Where was that energy when Kelly was trying to go on tour? Where was that energy when it came to supporting her? So the same people that claim to be so pro-Black and claim to support unambiguous monoracial Black women so much, they're all talk, but they don't put their money where their mouth is. And unfortunately, I feel like this is the case for Kelly Rowland and women like her in real life. A lot of women, if they feel like they're second best, or if they feel like they'll never be able to measure up or never be able to quote unquote outshine whoever they feel is their competition, oftentimes people will resort to victimhood. They will resort to talking about how everybody's against them because of their skin tone and everybody's against them because of their Blackness, or how, people favor this other person over them and it's not fair. And I like to use celebrities as an example because I really do feel like art imitates life. And I feel like regardless of what you may think of someone like Beyonce, I don't even consider myself to be a Beehive member or a Beyonce stan, but you cannot deny the fact that she has a lot of talent in addition to her beauty. And the reason that I like to use Beyonce as an example on this channel is because I really do feel like a lot of MLS women are kind of like these miniature Beyoncés in their own social circles. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you are considered the pretty girl at work. Let's say you're considered the pretty girl at college, or you're the one who's getting a lot of attention. Maybe you're like the head cheerleader, or you're the manager, you just got promoted, or you're in some sort of high position. Maybe you're the only one who graduated from college in your family. You're the only one who has kind of been able to stack your privileges and social climb to a new level. I've noticed that oftentimes the people who were your best friends when you were at the bottom, or the people who were friends with you back when you were struggling, back when all of you guys were up and coming, sometimes those people, they start getting triggered by your success as you begin to surpass them. I talk about this dynamic on this channel all the time, how people want you to be successful, they just don't want you to be more successful than them. So regardless of whether or not I like Beyonce, regardless of whether or not I like all of her songs, I have to put some respect on her name because she has broken so many barriers and she's like made so many good songs. She's obviously a very good vocalist and performer, and I truly do feel like no one can match up to her. She is like the most decorated artist in the world. Nobody can match up to her performances, and that's just me stating a fact. But I've noticed that a lot of people get extremely mad when you are both pretty and talented, or they get mad when you're pretty and smart. So basically, if you have beauty in addition to any other positive qualities, it really triggers people. And by the way, I'm not trying to say that like Kelly can't be pretty or that other women are not pretty, but I just like to use Beyonce as an example because I've noticed that Beyonce is somebody that a lot of people like to live vicariously through while simultaneously hating on. And that is something that's very relatable to us as Exoticals. A lot of people like to live vicariously through our beauty. They like to live vicariously through us while simultaneously hating on us. A lot of you guys have talked about how you will go into the office and maybe you'll be dressed in a cute outfit and you're wearing something that is within the dress code. But suddenly people want to report you for wearing that outfit. Meanwhile, there are other people in the office with the same type of outfit on. Nobody reports them. Why do they report you? Well, it's because you looked cuter than everybody else. And that's why they're mad. It's because people, they don't tell you that they are in a competition with you. and that they're trying to outdress you or trying to outshine you, or maybe they feel like you're outshining them. And so anytime you do something, they get triggered. I remember when I was in high school, I did cheerleading, and like for a part of the time that we were on the cheer squad, we always had to wear our uniforms on game days. So I remember it was a game day. I was wearing the exact same cheer uniform as everyone else, but then I got called to the principal's office because they said that my skirt was too short. But it's like I was literally wearing the exact same cheerleading outfit as the 5 other girls there. And even when it came to the sizing of the cheerleading outfits, the coach of the cheer squad is the one who took our measurements and did our sizing and all the stuff like that. And plus, my mom would never let me come to a Christian school dressed in something inappropriately. So I was dressed normal. But people were just triggered because my body type and my body shape looks different than theirs. And so maybe they felt like because I looked quote unquote sexy, or because I am sexualized, or my phenotype is more sexualized than theirs, it caused them to feel threatened. I've noticed that a lot of people are threatened by a woman's sex appeal, especially if you kind of embrace that side of yourself. But that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about when I say that's an example of people who are secretly competing with you, or people who just automatically view you as the one who stands out above them. And also, going back to Kelly Rowland, if Kelly Rowland really felt like she was that big of a star, she wouldn't even do these interviews, because a lot of people tried to come in my comments section on my most recent video and say, well, Kelly Rowland, she has the right to want to talk about her projects and not want to talk about Beyonce. You're absolutely right. But guess what? The people on the Today Show also have the right to talk about what they want. Those interview and media outlets that Kelly Rowland is going on have the right to ask about whatever they want, because it's their show. Kelly is on their show. It's not the other way around. Kelly is not the producer of the Today Show. She doesn't own the Today Show. She doesn't get to decide who goes into what dressing room. So what Kelly cannot do is go to somebody else's business and go to someone else's platform and demand that she gets some sort of special treatment, or that she gets to call the shots there. No, the Today Show can say no to that. The media outlets can say no to that. They get to decide because it's their platform. So I don't have a problem with people wanting to be treated special, but this is why I believe that every person should create their own space. Create your own lane for yourself. Same thing goes with my YouTube channel. I can talk about whatever I want on my channel. I can delete whatever comments I want. I can block people from commenting if I want to. I can choose to make certain videos or not make those videos. And other people do not have the right to come on here and try to take creative control over something that is my platform. So the problem with Kelly is that she's going onto other people's platforms and she's constantly relying on collaborations, but then she wants to call the shots in the collaboration. That's not how it works. That's not how business works. You don't just say you want to do business with someone and then you only do it in a one-sided way and it's only on your terms. If Kelly really wanted to take her power back, she would take a page out of Beyonce's book and not do interviews at all. Notice how when Beyonce wants to talk her shit, she talks shit through her music. She talks shit through her social media platforms. Well, she doesn't really talk shit through the social media, but she talks shit through using her own creativity, as opposed to expecting to go on somebody else's show, expecting to go on someone else's news station or whatever, and then try to derail the conversation or try to conform the conversation to exactly what she wants to talk about. You can't control other people, but you can control yourself. And the reason I'm talking about this Kelly Beyonce thing is because this is a mirror reflection of how a lot of people treat the quote unquote pretty girl. Regardless of your complexion, regardless of your skin tone, if other people put you on a higher pedestal than them, sometimes that person may struggle with jealousy or comparing themselves to you. And I've noticed that for the Black women that were commenting on my last video and saying, nobody's jealous of Beyonce, Kelly's not jealous of Beyonce, nobody's jealous. I've noticed that in the Black community in particular, there's an obsession with not being seen as jealous. Jealousy is an emotion that everybody experiences, and that includes Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland is a human being. She's not a god, so stop worshiping her. Kelly Rowland and Beyonce, they're not gods. They're normal human beings. Both of them have experienced jealousy before, because jealousy is just a passing emotion. So to say that Kelly Rowland has never in her life experienced jealousy, that's extremely disingenuous. Jealousy as an emotion is actually not a bad thing. Here on this channel, we embrace dark femininity. We embrace all of the good parts and all of the bad parts of the human experience. So experiencing jealousy is not the problem. It's how you utilize that jealousy to your advantage. Kelly Rowland does not know how to use dark femininity. She doesn't know how to use her jealousy to her advantage. Let's take Beyonce, for example, again. I've noticed that whenever Beyonce has felt jealous of others, she tends to express her jealousy behind the scenes, or she expresses her jealousy by internalizing it and basically turning it into more success for herself. Or she kind of goes back into her creative space and just works on making herself better, works on making her music better. You know how people say, "Oh, you think you're better than me." Beyonce has made it to the point where she actually is better than others. Like, she is a better vocalist than some other people. She is a better performer and a better dancer. So that's one way that you can turn your jealousy into something positive. You can use it to actually improve yourself. And if you feel like people are competing with you, or maybe you feel like, hey, you're not on the same level as Whitney Houston. When Beyonce first came out, I remember when she first came out, when I was like in kindergarten, I remember people saying all the time that Beyonce couldn't sing or dance. People used to say that she could not sing, that she couldn't dance, and they thought that Destiny's Child was just another pop group that was going to eventually fall off. But Beyonce did not allow her jealousy of, more famous singers at the time. She didn't allow that to overtake her. She actually agreed, and she said, well, I'm just going to work on myself. I'm going to work on my own vocals. I'm going to work on my own dance moves. I'm going to work on my performance, my look, the way that I carry myself. I'm going to make money moves and I'm going to make business moves. So I think that Beyonce actually is better at social climbing than Kelly is. And I think that Kelly, she relies too much on collaboration. Beyonce doesn't collaborate for shit. She doesn't rely on collaborating with a whole bunch of media outlets, getting all these people to interview her. She doesn't rely on collaborating with a whole bunch of other rappers and singers and pop stars and stuff. Have you ever noticed that? A lot of Beyonce's work is really just Beyonce. And that's how she has chosen to make it. So yes, people are going to say that's self-centered, or she's all about herself, or she's narcissistic. Yes, people are going to say that. But guess what? Beyonce doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't give a fuck that you think she's a narcissist. She doesn't give a fuck that you think she's self-centered. Beyonce has taken control over her own image. Is she very controlling with it? Yes, she is. But you know what? It's your image. You have the right to own your beauty and show off your beauty however you want to. You have ownership over your own talents and how you would like to use them, how you would like to manage them. Beyonce is the type of person where she doesn't really do a lot of features anymore. You know how some artists, they will be featured on another person's album and stuff? She has stopped doing that. She hasn't done that in the longest time because she has decided how she wants to use her own voice. She wants to use her voice on her own albums and make her own money. She doesn't seem to feel the need to clout chase off of another person's success all the time. And even though I don't consider myself a stan of Beyonce, I have noticed that Beyonce is actually very good at embracing dark femininity. I've noticed that Rihanna also has a similar quality where she is good at embracing her dark femininity. People said that Rihanna couldn't sing. People tried to say that that Rihanna would never make it, or that she would never be as rich or as famous as Beyonce. Rihanna didn't let that shit get to her. She just said, fuck it, I'll start a makeup line. I will stop doing music altogether. So I've noticed that a lot of these women who are able to have more success and longevity, these are the women who break the rules. Beyonce has broken the rules of Hollywood by not doing interviews. Usually if you're an up-and-coming artist, or if you're kind of at the peak of your career, a lot of people are going to want to interview you. But Beyonce, she didn't care about breaking the rules. She said, no, I'm not doing interviews. Same thing with Rihanna. You would think that Rihanna would want to make a whole bunch more albums. But if Rihanna decides, I don't want to sing anymore, or, I'm going to delay my album for 10 years, then she does it. So I've noticed that the women who are confident are the women who are not afraid to break the rules. And the reason that I'm using Kelly Rowland as an example is because Kelly Rowland, she very much comes off as a good girl. And it's not a bad thing to be a good person, but she does come off as a good girl who kind of follows all of the rules. She's trying to do everything right. She's trying to do everything perfectly. She wants to be seen as being this nice girl, or maybe she wants to be seen as, having all of these positive qualities, and that's fine, but it's also not going to build your brand because that's actually not relatable. Controversy is a part of what leads to success. My channel thrives on controversy. And so that's why I will continue to make controversial videos. If people disagree with them, that's fine. Feel free to disagree from your own platform, because I will not allow you to come onto my comment section and make my comment section into a stage so that you can try to talk about your talking points. If you want your talking points to be heard so bad, make your own YouTube channels. YouTube is a free platform. Anybody can talk about what they want. So same thing goes for Kelly Rowland. If Kelly Rowland wants to promote herself so bad, then promote yourself. Promote yourself without the Today Show, without all of these interviewers. Stop asking to be on people's shows and stuff. Stop trying to get all of these, stop trying to book entire speaking tours so that you can go get on other people's platforms. Because if you go on other people's platforms, you're playing by their rules. And who told you that life was fair, Kelly? Who said life was fair? Who lied to you? Because this world ain't fair. Life is not fair. Reality is not fair. So yes, you may think that you are just as big of a star, or maybe you deserve to be higher up in society, but life isn't fair. And here on this channel, I like to deal in reality. So I am not telling people all of these lies like nobody judges you based on how you look. Pretty privilege isn't real. No, I tell people how to benefit from those things. I tell people how to weasel their way in and level up without having to follow all of the rules. I tell people on this channel how to break the rules and use it to your advantage. Another person that comes to mind who has been able to use dark femininity to her advantage is Ciara. Ciara is very strategic with how she moves in Hollywood. Ciara can't sing as well as Kelly can. I believe that Ciara and Kelly, they both can dance, but Ciara has had more musical longevity, and she has more bops than Kelly, from what I can think of, because Ciara, she decided to marry hypergamously, and then, her husband, I think her husband bought her masters, and Ciara made money moves behind the scenes so that she could create her own label for herself and continue to make music on her own. I noticed that even Tinashe did the same thing, where she didn't like how she was being treated by the industry. So instead of just going around crying about the industry and crying about Hollywood, she decided to take ownership over her own talents and her own gifts, and she started producing her own music and, being more independent and stuff. And I've noticed that the codependent people are always the losers. The most codependent person will always be at the bottom. You'll always be fighting for scraps. You'll always be fighting for whatever breadcrumbs the people at the top are willing to give you. And so that's why I have this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is really about taking back your power. It's about understanding how psychology and sociology works. The problem with women like Kelly Rowland is they don't understand psychology and sociology. They don't understand how society actually works. And so Kelly's issue is, you can tell deep down inside that Kelly does not want to actually fight against the beauty standards. She just wants to be the beauty standard. So I talk a lot about this on this YouTube channel, about how a lot of unambiguous Black women, they don't want to end colorism. They simply want to reverse it, or they want to be the ones benefiting from it themselves. And it's because they want to be the new beauty standard. So, but the thing is, when it comes to mainstream beauty standards or any beauty standard, there will always be someone who's considered pretty, and there will always be someone who is considered ugly. And I know that that's not fair. I agree that society is very messed up, but you know what? I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to be on this earth, but I'm here. So I have to learn how to navigate in the society that I live in, instead of trying to morally police everyone and get everyone to call me beautiful out of pity. That's not the way that you succeed. I talk a lot on this channel about the concept of privilege stacking. And if you do not have a particular privilege, you only have two options. So if Kelly feels like Beyonce has more privilege than her, she only has two options. Either, number one, change yourself to attain the same privileges as Beyonce. So you would have to change everything about yourself to attain that. Or number two, you are forced to accept the fact that you will always be below that person in terms of that particular privilege. So there is no wrong answer. I don't shame people for what they do on this channel. I do not shame Kelly for getting different surgeries and stuff, or for trying to change up her looks. I don't shame her for that, because if she believes that pretty privilege is important to her, then she has a right to pursue that. And so the thing is, you have to decide what privileges are most important to me. So in Kelly's case, it sounds like light skin privilege was very important to her. So, but she was too afraid, or, for obvious reasons, she didn't want to change her skin tone. And that's fine, because, obviously I can see why she wouldn't want to do that. But the bottom line is you're going to have to deal with either trying to constantly be a groundbreaker in that area, or you just have to accept that people will maybe flock to women who look more like Beyonce more than you, or whatever's going on with you in regards to your skin tone. You just have to deal with that. And part of the reason why my channel is so controversial is because I am pro dark femininity. So when I use the term dark femininity, it's just kind of a term that I made up to describe what I'm talking about, which is embracing negative aspects of yourself, negative qualities about yourself, and then utilizing those changes that you make about yourself to succeed. So this is why some celebrities bleach their skin. This is why some celebrities get a bunch of surgeries. This is why some celebrities like J-Lo will use other people's vocals and then they will use it to make money for themselves. Are those good things to do? Are those nice things to do? Of course not. Are some of those things evil, and are some of those things based off of bad, parts of society like racism, texturism, featureism, colorism? Of course. But that doesn't change reality. Not everybody wants to be a nun. Not everybody wants to be Gandhi. Not everybody wants to be Martin Luther King. And everybody doesn't have to be. So I actually think that Kelly Rowland has either been pushed into this pro-Black social justice warrior position, or she has pushed herself into this kind of Black advocate position. And it sounds like she doesn't really want to be in that position. It sounds like she wants to be more like in the position of, I guess, Beyonce, where she's just kind of performing, going on tour, taking 6 months on and 6 months off, and just having her privacy. It seems like that's what she wants to do. So she should just embrace that part of herself and just not give a fuck what anybody thinks about it, and stop being the representation for others. One thing that I will always say on this channel is that I am not a role model. You do not have to listen to what I say. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to copy what I do. So I am not trying to represent other people. All I can do is speak from my own experiences and observations. So anybody who disagrees with it or anybody who doesn't like it, they can go create their own spaces. And this is why I say it's important for every woman to have a space where she feels seen and heard and validated. And I like to use social commentary as an example because I really do feel like all of us can relate to both Beyonce and Kelly. So my question for you watching is, which one are you in your life? Are you the Beyonce of your own life, or are you the Kelly? Are you the one who's constantly looking to others and thinking that they have more privilege than you instead of doing your own privilege stacking journey? Or are you the Beyonce where people are mad at you because, you're not Black enough, you're not white enough, you're not representing unambiguous people enough, you're not standing up for this, you're not standing up for that? Which one are you? And by the way, since you're still watching this, be sure to get my Dark Femininity course if you haven't already. I do have a course. It's always linked in the description of all of my videos. But what do you ladies think? And which one are you? Are you the Beyonce of your life, or are you the Kelly of your life? And just to let you guys know, this channel is geared more towards the women who are the Beyoncés of their lives. So if you feel like you can relate more to Kelly, this channel is most likely not for you. I'm very unapologetic in my channel niche and who my audience is. This channel talks a lot about pretty privilege. It talks a lot about privilege stacking and pretty girl problems. So if you cannot relate to those things, this channel is most likely going to be offensive to you because it wasn't created for you. It's only created for women who have this experience. So if you have a different experience, that's fine, but I would recommend finding those channels and supporting the channels that are relatable to you, because I'd rather have a smaller audience that is more authentic to what I'm talking about rather than feeling pressured and forced by people online to change my talking points, because I'm never going to do that. I can't speak from a perspective that I don't have. I don't have the Kelly Rowland perspective. I don't have the perspective of, all these other people have more privileges than me. I should be higher up in society, but I'm not. I don't have that sort of mindset, and that just happens to not be my experience. So just like you want me to respect your point of view, I ask that you respect mine and the women on this channel, because this is our safe space. There are tens of thousands of other channels you can watch, but if you don't like hearing about pretty girls or privileges or privilege stacking and dark femininity and social climbing, if you don't like talking about those things or hearing about those things, you shouldn't be a part of this audience. But anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.